Hi there, this is Sam of Core Yoga. And this sequence is designed as a 15-minute post-run stretch out. Essentially, we want to release the tension in the tissues that we've worked really hard during our run. We want to encourage those muscles and the connective tissue to replenish, renew, so that next time we go run, we feel equally as good as we did today. So we're going to start in downward facing dog. Come to the mat, take your feet hip distance apart, your hands shoulder distance apart. Soften the knees as much as your body feels it needs to. And then push the floor away from you, lift the sit bones to the sky and relax the back of the neck. Take a moment, bend or turn at knees in your down dog. So this sequence is specifically focused on the muscles around the hips. So the muscles that we use to both stabilize the pelvis and provide strength and power to push us off the floor. Come to stillness in your downward facing dog. Bend the left knee deeply, look at the right foot. And from there, just turn the right foot 45 degrees so the heel comes in. Press the right heel into the floor. Take your gaze underneath the right armpit. Push both hands evenly down into the mat. Release the tension in the back of the neck. And then from here, this right hip lifts up and draws over to the left. Breathe into that right hip space, those outer hip muscles that work real hard to stabilize as we run. And then from here, come back to the center. Take a breath in, drop the knees to the floor. As you exhale, come down into Sphinx. So elbows underneath the shoulders, hands to the floor out in front of you. Press the forearms down and open through the chest. Draw the crown of the head a little bit up and the back of the skull a little bit back. And provide some resistance down into the earth with the forearms as you draw the forearms towards the hips. Take a breath into the front of the chest. And then exhale, come all the way back, downward facing dog. So Sphinx pose, really nice to get into those hip flexors in the front of the chest that gets a little congested after a run. Bend the right knee, turn the left heel to 45 degrees. Draw the left heel towards the floor, turn the chest underneath the left armpit, look underneath the left armpit. So both hands pressing evenly down into the floor. Left outer edge of the foot presses down, left hip lifts high, accessing gluteus medius, accessing tensor fascia lata, accessing quadratus lumborum. Three muscles that work really hard to keep the hips stable so that the lower limbs can work underneath a stable base. Come all the way back to the center. Bring the knees to the floor. Keep the hips stacked on top of their knees and release your toes. Take your arms a big giant step forward, mat distance apart, and allow the forehead to rest to the floor. And so from here, I know we talked about hips, but we're just getting a little stretch into the shoulders. We're also releasing some tension into that lower back and into the front of the belly. So breathing into the front of the body, and as you exhale, feel a sense of letting go. And then inhale, one more breath here. Exhale, bring the hands back underneath your knees. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward. So the right knee is stacked on top of the right ankle. And bring the left knee so that the left knee is stacked underneath the left hip. So it's a pretty short stance for a lunge, particularly if we're used to doing a lot of yoga with longer stances. Press the back foot down into the floor. Squeeze the left butt cheek. And bring your hand to that left butt cheek if you want to encourage it to activate. And then with your hands on the hips, keep them exactly as they are. Don't allow them to tilt forward, just push them forward. until you feel that stretch in the front of your left thigh. And then from there, right hand reaches towards the floor. Inhale, left hand lifts up towards the sky. And then exhale, you're just taking a side flexion towards the right. You're lifting up and out of your left side of your body. You're feeling that stretch travel all the way through these tight compartments that are created by repetitive movement patterns in our sport. Be mindful that the left shoulder doesn't come forward and the right shoulder back, because the body is just compensating for that space that it thinks it doesn't have. Then inhale, release it. Bring the right knee back. Step the left foot forward. Set yourself up. So from here, your right knee's underneath your right hip and your left foot is underneath your left ankle. And then you're going to push the right foot into the floor to squeeze the bum and bring your hand to the butt cheek if that helps you. Already likely you're feeling that stretch in the front of the thigh. And then from there, if you're not feeling that stretch or if you want a bit more, push the hips forward without allowing the pelvis to tilt. As soon as that pelvis tilts, we lose that stretch through the front compartment of the thighs. Left hand to the floor, and then inhale, reach the right hand to the sky. Stay here for a moment, stabilize the pelvis. And then as you exhale your next breath, you're just taking a lateral flexion. So you're just side bending to the left. You're only going as far as your body goes and then you're stopping. You're feeling that sense of stretch right through the right compartment of your body, the front of that body. Muscles that get pretty tight and congested because they are used repetitively. Inhale, come all the way back to the center. Exhale, come and lie on your back. As you lie on the back, you can use here a strap, a towel, or you can just use your hands. I'm going to show you with hands because likelihood is when we get back from a run, we don't have all the kit behind us. But if you want to use a strap, you can just link it around your right foot. Extend your right leg up to the sky, the left foot's on the floor. Take your hands behind the back of your thigh and interlace your fingers. Draw the back of the shoulders down into the floor first. Then feel the back of the pelvis and press it down. Then with the right leg, push into the hands. And then with the hands, pull back. So you have this dual action where we're creating length and providing a little bit of activation and strengthening in the muscles at the same time. Draw the right toes towards the shin and then extend the left leg away from you. Press the left heel into the floor as you draw the right heel a little higher to the sky. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, bend that right knee. Take your left hand to the outer edge of your right knee, the right hand out to the side and bring the right foot onto your left thigh. You're going to turn to the left, but you're going to look over the right shoulder. And then allow the body to soften. So likelihood, we've just got back from our run, our muscles are used to being responsive. They're used to firing up. So it might take a few breaths here to allow the muscles around the hips to soften and to let go. So close your eyes and bring your particular attention to the outside edge of your right hip. And as you breathe, as though you're breathing the space into that right hip. And as you breathe out, let it all go. We've got 3 more breaths here. And then next time you breathe in, bring yourself back to the center and hug this right knee in towards you. Then guide the right knee out to the right a little. Draw the right knee towards the right armpit And the left hand can just be on the left hip, just to ensure it doesn't lift up. So you have a couple options here. You can stay here if that's enough access into your inner groin. Or you can take a half happy baby, bringing your hands to the outside edge of that right foot. If this causes discomfort in the front of the right thigh, come back to where you were. If your left hip lifts and you rock over to the right, come back to where you are. It is not about the shape that we make, but about the release in the tension in the muscles in our physical body to help us recover and allow us to be ready for our next run. Slowly bring that right foot down to the floor. Hug your left knee in towards you. Readjust your pelvis if it's got a little out of alignment. And extend the left leg to the sky. Bring the hands behind the thigh. And then back of the shoulders, back of the pelvis, ground out. Leg presses into the hands and the hands pull back. The toes towards the shin, extend the right leg away from you. Press the right foot into the floor as you draw the left heel a little higher to the sky. Feel a couple of breaths here as you're working the body, as you provide some length and tone to the hamstring muscles. And then bend your left knee, bring your right hand to the outer edge of the left knee. The left foot on your right thigh, the left knee to the right, look over your left shoulder. And again, remember, it just takes time. It just takes time for these muscles to soften, to let go. Give them a chance. Feel the tension around the hips and let it soften as you breathe out. And then breathe into that left hip space, as though you're taking the oxygen right down into that hip. And as you exhale, let it go. And we'll stay here for 3 more full breaths. And then from here, slowly coming back to the center, drawing that left knee in towards your chest first, and then out to the left. So it's as though that left knee is traveling towards your left armpit. So you choose to stay here, and if this is where you were at last side, stay on this side, stay right here on this side. Or perhaps you want to take the outer edge of the foot, but if that hurts in the front of the hip, don't go there. If that causes the body to rock, don't go there, it's not worth it. Just bring the body to where it's getting efficient lengthening and release of the tissues that have worked as we run. So one of the hardest things that I feel runners experience is that taking time to stretch when they get back from a run. Taking time to stretch not only allows the muscles an opportunity to recover, but also the nervous system. It allows us to draw to the calmer side of the nervous system and balance stuff out, so that those stress levels that our body has experienced during that run can be rebalanced. Bring the left foot to the floor, hug both your knees in towards your chest. 2 options for Shavasana. First option, feet mat distance apart, knees meet, palms by your side. Second option, legs extended, mat distance apart. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, allow the body to completely surrender to the floor. In fact, I often say if there's one pose you're going to do when you get back off a run, this is the pose. Allowing the body a chance to let go.
allowing the breath a chance to return to its natural ebb and flow, allowing the mind a chance to become still, to rebalance our nervous system, to rebalance our body. As you release the tension in the body, start to watch the breath as it comes and goes. Nothing else do you need to think about or consider right now. I'll leave you here for another 30 seconds or so. And then slowly drawing your attention back into your physical body. Just take a chance to take a full deep breath into the body and a slow sigh out of the mouth. If you can, stay here. If you just had a short window of time and now's your time to move, start to bring movement back to the fingers and the toes. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Rock yourself over onto the side and push yourself up. Find your way back. Find a comfortable seat. Bring the palms together in the heart space. Thank you for taking the time to share your practice with me. Namaste.